Well, another day, another episode, another Pokemon removed from a main character's team. Honestly, with the amount of talent cuts lately, I forgot we were watching Pokemon and thought we were watching WWE. We begin today's episode with Ash getting ready to send his Tauros back to Professor Oak when we get this direct quote from Professor Oak to Ash's Heracross.
Okay, give me a second to catch my breath.
Then, when Ash comments that it looks like those two are having a lot of fun over there, Oak says,
Fun is only the half of it, Ash.
Go on then, tell me they're not fucking. Oak and Heracross, I mean, obviously. Man, Ash's muck must be devastated. After Oak asks for Heracross to stay with him a little longer, Ash tells Heracross to make sure he does whatever the professor says. Something tells me he already is, mate. Ash then sends his Tauros back to Professor Oak anyway. Wait, so he's just boxing Tauros for the sake of it? What did Tauros do wrong? Ash would rather have an empty space in his party than have Tauros on the team at all. Hashtag justice for Tauros. Direct quote from Professor Oak as Heracross sucks on the back of his lab coat for some reason.
Ha! You're driving me buggy.
Oak, mate, there's a time and a place for this stuff. But not now. Wait, no, actually there's never a time for bestiality, no matter what DeviantArt says. Oh man, look at the state of Ash's team now. 4 unevolved starters and a Pikachu. Mate, that is tragic. After asking Nurse Joy to examine him, Brock says he's suddenly overcome by a feeling in his heart that only she can cure. Mate, that's just blood running to your happy place. It happens to the best of us, and sometimes it happens at the worst of times. But you'll understand all this when you're older, mate. You don't need to worry about it now. Look, Pokemon, I get it. You wanted to have a clever play on words for the episode title, and you figured firefighting, firing, Squirtle squad. Great, sure, I get it, but mate, you've literally named an episode of a kid's cartoon after a form of execution. What's wrong with you? What's next, Pokemon? The electric chair? To be fair, that's probably one of the Gen 9 Pokemon.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find I know what some of the Gen 9 Pokemon are gonna be because I've seen the leaks.
The leaks? Oh, mate, unfortunately, I saw some of those leaks, and I've got to say, they were pretty convincing. Like, man, how could anyone not be excited after seeing this? It's like having the game 4 months early. So Ash and friends head over to check out the Pokemon Fire and Rescue Grand Prix. Oh, accent over the O, someone's getting fired, but never mind any of that, because look, it's my boy! After Ash decides to enter his Squirtle into the competition along with Misty, Staryu, and Psyduck, even though he didn't ask her if he could use them, Ash says Psyduck's trying to tell her that it's psyched to be on his team. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that's what it's trying to tell you, mate. With that expression, I think it's more likely trying to say,
So, sorry if this is the wrong time, but I need a shite.
Captain Aiden from episode 26 of the Orange Islands turns up with his team of Wartortle, and Ash, Misty, and Brock all exclaim,
Aiden?
Bugger off, Brock, you weren't even there. How the hell would you know Aiden? He even asks Misty what Team Wartortle is. Mate, it's such a good feeling when someone pretends to know about something and then trips themselves up just moments later. Well done, Brock. You played yourself. Brock is a numpty. Pass it on. Oh my God. It's my boy! And my boy! And my boy! And my boy! Just ignore the incorrectly coloured Poliwag It's an easy mistake to make. The animators were probably just mesmerised by how adorable they are. And look there! It's my boy and my boy! Man, I don't know what it is, but I've got the feeling that today's episode is going to be an amazing episode. Also, that thing just to the left of my boy and my boy could also be my boy, but it's got so little detail and it's so blurry, it kind of just looks like a toaster. Apparently, Captain Aiden made a single phone call to the bigwigs that run the Pokemon Fire and Rescue Grand Prix and got Ash added to the competition. After all, who needs planning and preparation when you have nepotism on your side? Direct quote from Brock.
I think it's going to take a lot more than just luck to win this competition. There's Vaporeon and Golduck teams, and even Marill and Quagsire teams.
You gotta love the way he ignored the true threat in this competition. The Poliwhirl teams, obviously. Oh, check it out! It's the Squirtle Squad! We haven't seen these guys in like 130 summer episodes. Now, I for one think it's great that Ash's Squirtle gets to hang out with his old friends for an episode before they go their separate ways and Squirtle continues its journey with Ash and eventually evolves all the way up to a Blastoise. I mean, that's absolutely what happens, right? Right? As everybody gets ready at the target range for a practice session, the Squirtle Squad appear to have ditched their coats. But in the very next shot, their coats are miraculously back on. Wow, the Squirtle Squad are wasted as firefighters. With costume changes that quick, they should be in fashion. Or the theatre. As it turns out, the Squirtle Squad are abysmal and can't hit a single target. Mate, Officer Jenny's got some explaining to do here. Imagine turning up for a firefighting competition with a team of Squirtle that have Stormtrooper aim. How can you even think you've got a chance of winning winning. Come on, Jenny, mate, use your noodle. Now, why does this image seem so familiar? Oh yeah, it was literally a boss battle in Final Fantasy VII Remake. During the opening challenge, Misty's Staryu accidentally watergunned Psyduck into the burning rubble. I say accidental, but come on. Staryu landed off a jump seconds before fire, and it could have easily seen Psyduck stood in front of it. I guess maybe Staryu was hoping to kill Psyduck? Probably jealous of how much TV time it gets. Either that, or Misty was in on the whole thing, and I wouldn't put it past her. Never fear though, Squirtle saved Psyduck in the nick of time, just like using code ACE can save you money on G Fuel. You know the drill by now. G Fuel is an energy formula with barely any calories, zero sugar, and a whole heap of wonderful flavors like the delectable Shiny Splash that I'm drinking today in honor of A-Drive hitting 1 million subscribers. Well done to you. That's a milestone I'll never hit. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful, and the caffeine-free version of this saved me during the heat wave in the UK the other day. That was a nightmare, but Shiny Splash got me through, so cheers. Use code ACE and you'll save 10% on your G Fuel order, including Shiny Splash. Remember though, G Fuel is for over 18s only because it contains caffeine, and children don't need to be anywhere near caffeine. They're annoying enough as it is, and because it contains caffeine, drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead. I was going to ask who the hell brings a team of muck to a firefighting contest, but somehow the muck team puts out their fire quicker than Ash's team simply by starving the flames of oxygen, which is quite clever really. Like, I get that the idea is that the Psyduck stuff wasted a bunch of time for Ash's team, but still, come on. Even with that slight advantage, the muck team clearly worked like beasts to be done that quickly. The Squirtle squad are absolutely bricking it before their showdown against a team of Golduck. And what advice does Officer Jenny have for her team, I hear you ask? What pearl of wisdom could she possibly have to quell the fear of this team of terrified tortoises?
Don't be nervous.
Give this woman an honorary PhD in psychology, because I think she's just cracked the secret to ending fear in all beings. Mate, next you'll be telling people with depression, have you tried just cheering up? Mate, I'm glad they did this sweeping shot to show us the size of the crowd that's currently watching the Squirtle squad. Like, sure, the characters have basically said they were nervous, but it wasn't until I saw this incredibly deeply detailed depiction of a stadium crowd that I really understood the gravitas of the situation. I mean, it's so immersive. It's like I'm really there. Direct quote from the stadium announcer.
They're squirting hard, but they don't appear to have a serious game plan.
Pokémon, sometimes you make this stuff way too easy. Like, that had to be deliberate, surely. Ash tells Pikachu to use Thunder Shock to get the Squirtle squad's attention. Mate, are there even any rules at this event? Like, surely Ash and Pikachu, who are part of another team in this competition, can't just randomly attack another team mid-challenge. To the crowd in attendance, they must just look like really sore losers. After the Squirtle squad win the round, the house they extinguished burst into flames again. I guess that means they didn't win? Because technically that house fire couldn't have been fully out if it was able to just catch fire again so quickly. So the Squirtle squad lost, right?
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find Team Rocket started that fire from underground with their new robot.
I'm calling bullshit, mate. Team Rocket were pretty deep underground, so there's no way they could have got enough heat to the surface to have restarted that fire so suddenly. I just think the Squirtle squad didn't catch all the flames, which means the Golduck team were robbed here. Hashtag justice for Golduck, 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 and Golduck. In their new machine, the Torture Scorcher, Team Rocket fire flamethrowers at Ash and friends, although the flames never quite reach them for some reason. Like, nobody deflects the flames or blows them away or anything. Apparently it just so happens that Ash and friends are just out of range of the flames. Someone should really tell Team Rocket to just take a step forward or something. Now, I was going to comment on how my boys are leading the charge against Team Rocket, but mate, I'm in disbelief. Are you seeing this? Other Pokemon trainers running over to try and stop Team Rocket without being prompted by Ash and friends? Who are you? And what have you done with the Pokemon world general public? Team Rocket fire a bunch of nets and catch all the trainers' Pokemon. All the Pokemon except the Squirtle squad, that is. Team Rocket, how did you even manage that? The Squirtle squad were the closest Pokemon to you. How'd you miss them? They were stood right next to Pikachu too, and you caught that. What, you didn't have a big enough net on that side? Now, you're probably expecting me to comment on how the Squirtle squad putting their shades on somehow makes them so much more capable of dealing with this situation. And whilst I will admit it is super cringe, it actually does have a bit of practical benefit in this situation. Huge flames like the ones coming from this robot can be really bright, and the heat in general can hurt your eyes a little bit. it, so wearing shades isn't a terrible idea in practice. Most of us only get one pair of eyes, so it's really important to look after them. Now, whilst Ash's Squirtle doing a skull bash through the windscreen of Team Rocket's robot is a really cool visual, I can't help but wonder, how the hell did he jump that high? Apparently, Squirtle stamping on the control panel a little bit is enough to almost destroy the robot. Mate, that is some shoddy workmanship right there. I'm just saying, if this robot's controls can be so easily damaged, then this thing must either be really poorly put together or made of some of the cheapest materials available. And if that is the case, why couldn't all these Pokemon have broken their way out sooner? So after Team Rocket get dispatched, we get most of the competition summed up in a montage, and then find that the final is Team Wartortle versus the Squirtle Squad. And I, for one, am so incredibly surprised. I mean, really, who could have seen that coming? You know, besides literally everyone. Look, I get it, these are two teams that the viewers know of from previous episodes, blah blah blah. But let's not pretend it would have been way better seeing the Squirtle Squad face off against Team Blastoise in the finals and get absolutely rinsed. Now that's entertainment. And of course, the team with one of Ash's Pokemon on it wins the whole thing. Why? Because anime. Look, Pokemon, it wouldn't hurt to humble this kid a bit more often than you do. The main characters don't always have to win, you know? For some reason, the main Wartortle scarf isn't yellow like it normally is. I guess it got burned? Sure, we'll go with that. Here's a direct quote from Officer Jenny.
Thanks, Ash, and thanks for letting your Squirtle stay with us to become the leader of the Squirtle Squad again.
Oh, that's it. Just rip it off like a band-aid and get it over with. After all, nothing makes a terrible decision easier than rushing through it. As much as I'm not the biggest fan of Ash's Bulbasaur, you've got a feel for it here. It knows exactly what's going on. It's seen Butterfree, Pidgeot, and Lapras released. It's seen Charizard and Primeape left behind. It's seen Kingler left at Oak's lab along with Muck and Snorlax and Tauros and Tauros and Tauros and
A few moments later.
It knows what's happening. Slowly but surely, Ash is ditching his old Pokemon for new ones. And given that Pikachu is Ash's bestie and the only other Pokemon on the team are Chikorita and Cyndaquil, who are new, Bulbasaur knows that with Squirtle gone, he's the last one left to replace. Bulbasaur, in this moment, realizes he's on borrowed time. And that's got to be on his mind every single waking moment. Mate, I know this scene's meant to be lit like it's near the end of the day and the sun's going down a little bit, but come on. Can somebody clean Togepi up a bit? The poor thing looks filthy. We get a quick montage of Squirtle's time in the party, and I guess it's fine. As Pokemon montages go, I can't really rate it that highly, mainly because a lot of the clips aren't positive ones. Like they have Squirtle burning its mouth on hot food, or Squirtle being put to sleep by sleep powder. Could you really not have got some better clips of this Pokemon after 130 plus episodes of it? They kinda did Squirtle dirty here, to be honest. And we end the episode on a direct quote from our beloved narrator.
As our heroes continue their journey to Johto, they look forward.
Hang on a minute, mate. When they get to Johto, they're already in Johto. And it's not like they just arrived in Johto. They've been there for 31 episodes now. Where have you been, mate? So those are my WTF moments of Pokemon Season 3, Episode 31, The Firing Squad. Let me know your favorites and any that I might have missed down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Head over to this YouTube channel next week for all of my live streams. All get excited, look out for the schedule, and use code ACE for money off G Fuel. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training. The schedule will be in the community tab, as always.